Welcome back, Hip Politics family. We got a special one today, reporting live here from the DNC here in Chicago. It's your boy, Mr. Cameron Calvin, aka Mr. Hip Politics, aka Mr. DC to Cleveland, and I'm here with a super duper star, who's here on the ground in the convention, ready to witness history. Miss Claudia Jordan. How you doing, Claudia?
I love the intro. You just gassed my head up all the way.
Yes, super duper star.
No, I'm excited to be here because I was at the last convention I was at was the first convention for Barack Obama, and the feeling is like that and some for this one. Like, I'm so excited about this. I really am. It means a lot to me.
What does it mean for Kamala Harris to be nominated by a major party, first woman ever?
Yeah.
To be at the top of the ticket, and I'm claiming it that's going to win and going to be our first woman president. What does it mean to you?
Well, you know, I'm 51 years old, so I never thought in my life I'd see a black man be elected president, and I got to witness that history. But to follow that up with a black woman, a woman of color after that is just amazing. And then to know of all the presidents that we've all been around, right? We've witnessed Barack Obama still has that #1 spot, and I think Kamala Harris is on the same level. When I used to do a radio show with Jamie Foxx called Foxhole Radio, we interviewed Kamala Harris way back when she was a district attorney, long time ago, like 2005, 6, 7, around that time. So I've been following her for a long time. So I didn't just get on board like the last month. I used to watch all the Senate hearings where she would just dig and just so sharp and so on point. I've been feeling this moment for a long time. So to see this again, it just feels really good to see yourself represented, you know?
It does feel good. I mean, it feels good that so many different people can identify with her, from her mother's and father's immigrant story, going to HBCU, how she's come up in the game, and then, like I said, I've had the ability to work for her, so see her up in close moments. Like, she's a real person. But something I want to touch on, like I said, you're a certified star. We've seen you all on TV, like TV, radio, film, and we're starting to see that star power come back. Like I said, Joe Biden changed my life, like being able to work for him, but now in knowing that he's a great president, but the star power I'm seeing that has come out, the people who, after we've had this historic transition, has been amazing. But one thing about stars, your platforms are so large, and we're seeing a lot of misinformation, disinformation. Talk to me about how you're helping to use the platform you have and the people who follow you to make sure they're getting the right info, making sure folks are registered, places to vote. Like, how are you fighting and making sure what you're putting out is the right stuff?
You know, it's one thing to just repost something that someone put up, but you have to go a little bit further than that. So, and that's what I've been doing. I won't say politics for dummies, because I'm not saying people are dumb, but I think you need to break things down in simple talk where people can grasp what you're saying. And sometimes when the message seems complicated, people will just kind of tune out, you know? So I've been using my Twitter to dispel or to translate for folks. This really means that. Put it in easy to digest, 160, character messages, because no one has an attention span anymore. It's like the entire country has ADHD, including me, okay? My attention span is not what it used to be. We're being constantly overstimulated. So you gotta be able to get that message in and get out. Because people are not gonna sit around and read. They're going to read the title, the headline.
Barely.
So barely at that. I've also recently, myself and my friend Chancey became deputies in Texas, and we are now able to register people to vote. We've been having voter registration drives with this run club called Run It Up Dallas. Huge. They have like 400 or 500 people that come on and run every Tuesday and Saturday and Sunday morning. And we've been just setting up shop and registering people. People have been contacting us, like asking us, what do I need? It's really crazy to see how people are so easily discouraged from voting. They think they need an ID to register. They think they need that they should be fearful of giving the government information. I'm like, they already have information. It's just seeing how people are fearful to give their address and their phone number and their information. And I want people to know there's nothing to fear when you do that. And just in Texas alone, 2.1 million people were purged from the voter polls, including myself, who's on top of this. They were like, oh, you moved. But I sent a form in, but they never, quote unquote, got it. So check, double check, and triple check, and have your friends do the same, because you don't want to miss the deadline of voter registration. I believe in Texas, October 6th or 7th. and then your ass out when it comes time to vote. You know, we can't. They're gonna pull all kind of tricks this time. They did it last time. We barely squeaked the win out. We have to really be on top of it this year because they are Georgia. They're making it where someone can remove you off the voter polls by knowing just your name and very little information about you. Like we cannot.
I mean, the trickeration is real. To that point, something that you should look into and promote. IWillVote.com, the letter IWillVote.com, that allows you to check your voter registration status anywhere in the country and then go to register. But people, to your point about the purging and what's happening, people have to be wary of that because what is also happening is people are buying sites as data collection and say, if you aren't registered, click here. And then people are thinking those things are official voter registration lives, and they're not, they're just data collection. So it's a ton of different ways that's suppressing our vote because I think the other side essentially realizes the only way they win is if less people vote.
Hey, with that being said, when I hear people think that their vote doesn't matter, they would not be going to these extreme measures if it wasn't A, important, B, if we weren't being effective at getting, pushing back against their messaging. So just know that. They would not be trying this hard if it wasn't important. So just be very diligent and go to the official sites because you are absolutely right about that. And I want to work with the Biden, now the Kamala administration, the Harris administration. I definitely want to do some stuff with media. I use my platform as much as I can. It's something I truly care about, especially with women's rights. Okay. I live in a state that is so barbaric and so...
Texas is tough right now.
If a woman gets raped and gets pregnant and finds a way to have an abortion, like you are liable, I think up to 4 members of your rapist family can sue you for $20,000 each. Bounties on the doctors. It's like we complain about third world countries. What are we giving in Texas? It's like, what is this assault on women? Why are they going against IVF? So people that have fertility issues, going against that is unbelievable. So do you want us to have more babies or not? I don't understand. It's such a losing message, and women are riled up and pissed, and we are ready to go.
No, I think it's a major issue that folks are going to, especially I think that's an issue that hopefully can eventually turn Texas blue. I mean, you've got Colin Allred, who's running at the top of the ticket in Texas on Senate.
Like Ted Cruz. Like, come on, Republicans, you can't stand him.
Got to easily be the most hated senator in America.
He was in Cancun when we were freezing. I was there for that freeze, and he was on vacation. He tried it. He tried to get on a flight. I want to say one more thing about the abortion restrictions. It's not just a woman thing. If they have it their way, the Republicans, and they say only they will allow it with exceptions of rape and molestation. If someone doesn't want to have a child, they're not going to do it just because there's a law. People will get desperate. Back in the day, they were using coat hangers. Now, imagine all the false allegations of rape that some women might be pushed to put on men to get those abortions. We already have you already hear the stories of the star athlete and, he has sex with some girl and then she cries rape, or her daddy doesn't want her to be with a black man, and then he catches a case and 5 years later we find out that his career was ruined for a fake case. You don't think that's going to go through the roof? If men are not caring about this, you need to care about that for that. If you don't care about it for your sisters and your daughters and your aunts, and your cousins, think about yourself, what could happen to you. I can imagine the plethora of false allegations like, hey, I need this abortion, like, oh, I was raped. Think about that. I just think that's not being talked about enough.
There's so many different ways that just a woman's basic right to choose, and even like I said, with the IVF, we actually don't even know all the birth control and going after doctors for doing their job, like going after their families. It truly is barbaric, and it doesn't align with the majority of the country on so many different levels.
Trying to get care because they have non-viable fetuses inside of them, and they're like, well, we can't. That's considered an abortion. Why are these men making these decisions? They don't have a uterus.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us on the Hip Politics Podcast. We're going to have you back again, either. We're actually going to be doing some election night watch parties around the country with a few different voter engagement orgs. So
are you in D.C.?
I'm in D.C., but I used to live and work in Dallas, actually. I got my start with the late, great Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. So
really?
She hired me in 2009 as her new media person.
Yes.
My first job was new media manager because we didn't have digital jobs back then. And she was like, In my interview, she said, I don't know all of this Twitter stuff, but I saw Obama do it. She was like, just don't make me look fucking stupid. And I was like, wow, this lady, like, and so she changed my life in terms of getting out of my old career to got me into that. So I've lived in Dallas for times. I worked for her for over 70 years. So I love the city, love the area. That's why I'm very familiar with the laws and stuff down there and how hard that is going to be. But I think with folks like yourself, like you said, doing just even that daily voter registration in pieces at a time, like that's how
I'm not letting any of my friends tell me they're not registered to vote. Like, you will be registered, or I'm not messing with you. You are not on my crew. I'm sorry. I'm going to put that pressure on you, and you have to. Too many of our ancestors had to suffer for us to vote. So yeah, but thank you.
Let people know where they can find you. If you got any projects, anything coming up, where they can find you on social, on the airwaves.
I have a movie called Do It for the Gram, where I'm actually running for councilwoman seat, and my life gets turned upside down. And I am all over social media at Claudia Jordan on Instagram and Twitter and all that. I was on Fox Soul for 5 years, and I have some other projects that I'm in the process of making become a reality. So just stick around.
Hope to see you.
Hip politics, baby.